Hello, everyone. And surprise, I planned to have this on Thursday because I looked at the wrong date and I was looking at January's full moon. And today's full moon is today. So, surprise if you were not expecting me. I've already shuffled these, but I'm going to go ahead and just give them one more shuffle on air. But this is a tree life reading. And I do them on the new and full moon. Of course, I also do them by request for clients, like individual readings. But on the full moon, it's the question of what most needs healing. And on the new moon, it is a question of what is the most inspiration that's coming from the soul. So we're going to be looking at the Pentacle card first and then move up from there. So the way that this works is the major arcana and the suit cards are all in separate piles. And it is all about alchemy. In a full reading, there's 10 cards, just like the Sephiroth and the Tree of Life. And for the online one, though, we do 5. And if you're a Patreon member, we do the additional 5 clarifying cards in a private stream. So, along with a little bit of sound clearing. I'm going to film that probably tomorrow because I was not expecting to do this today. So, but thank you for being here and watching. All right, so they all have a little bit of a shuffle, and there was like a reading that I did just, I think it was Monday. I've had the moon come up so many times in my daily 2-card pulls, and if you haven't been seeing those, I've been uploading them as YouTube shorts and been doing them on other platforms and things like that. And I had this awareness that perhaps the moon was illuminating an original wound. That's why we have Rose here. She is holding the energy, I should say he is holding the energy for us to really take a deep dive and really uncover something that has been very hard for us to, illuminate and to transform. And this is a process of alchemy. We have the pentacle, the coin, and we have the cups and the wands, which are the tools to take that coin and turn it into a cup or a wand. We will have the soul quality that comes out of that, as well as the fire, the spirit quality that comes out of it. So without further ado, let us go ahead and see which card we got. So we get the 10 of Pentacles. And, this actually goes in line with a reading from yesterday, or was it the other day? Anyway, it's all about, it doesn't matter if things are working for you. It matters if things are serving you. And there is a need now for discernment of, is your life working or is your life serving? And when I say serving, I really mean, like, are you being able to be of service to your fellow travelers? Are you sharing your unique medicine gift? And that being said, there's nothing that says you have to. If you're happy with material world and you're content, you don't have to do anything. But the message today is to use alchemy to go from material possessions and the world working for you to you being served and serving the world, being in divine reciprocity with your fellow travelers. And what are the tools for this? First, we have the King of Cups, and we may draw clarifying cards for that. So the King of Cups is the will of the soul, but also the blending of feeling with it, because all court cards are soul cards. King specifically is the will of the soul. So one of the tools that we really are looking at is to be the feeling of the moment. And when I say that, I mean, like, not being triggered by past emotion, like looking at something and say, oh, I had an experience like this and it was bad. Like we oftentimes fragment ourselves into the past and look at something that's happening now and, thinking about, oh, this happened before and this and this and this happened. This is a unique experience. What's the feeling of the moment? Don't get caught up with labeling what's showing up now based on past data. Past data can be useful sometimes, but in the moment, what you want to do is forget about that and ask truly in this moment, what do I feel about this? Does this serve the infinite me that I truly came to be? The next card, we have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords means that, you don't always have, well, kind of in line with this, you don't necessarily take everything with you. Victory is not always take all. And sometimes you leave something behind. And it's not just that you're leaving it behind. Perhaps things that aren't serving you anymore could serve somebody else. So it's a willingness to walk away, to leave some things behind, recognizing victory isn't always take all. And what is the spirit quality that will come from that? We have the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is all about emotion. And so this is telling me that, the will of the soul that's being invaded maybe by emotion, that we want to get more into feeling, that we're going to have that expression of the true feeling of the moment and the soul quality that comes from it. Holy shit, we got the moon. So if you look, you really ought to go back and look at my deeper dive original wound healing. I'm so glad I shuffled these on camera now because it's like, how? This has come up so many times, and the moon is about letting go of things that don't serve you. This is so in line with the energy of this month because it's come up. This is like the 8th time, really. It's insane how many times it's come up. Now, there's going to be 5 more clarifying cards for patrons. I do want to draw one additional clarifying card with a separate deck here. So I will shuffle it in front of you just to get a little bit more information about how to clear up this aspect of the soul here. And we have the Chariot. It's really good orderly direction, which is my acronym for God. It's like making the choices, like start to make choices that are more congruent, more in line. And if you're in a place of indecisiveness because of emotion, because of past data, it's really about when you are in the moment and you have that feeling of the soul, start to act on it. This is telling you those impulses that you have, those feelings and things like that. It is time to actually act on those things and not just be indecisive. And I'm feeling, we're going to go ahead and do the whole thing now because I feel like it. And this really goes right in. Page of Cups is about action. So this supports the clarifying card that we need to take action in order to really get to this. And the second clarifying card, we have the 9 of Cups, which is really telling us that you have this immense propensity to be compassionate and be kind. And perhaps we've held that back because in the past, when we've been kind, it has created, there hasn't been reciprocity, or we're giving kindness with expectation. And that doesn't, it's really about being in the moment. You are being you in the world with no expectation of anybody reciprocating or being something to you back. So there are those. And let's see about the other 2 clarifying cards here. We have the 3 of Swords, which is a congruency card as well. It is like 3 swords normally going through the heart. It's like the 3 parts of the mind: seeing, understanding, and knowing, coming into congruency with the will and love, which is like we call it in shamanism moon eye. So this has been a theme for the month with all the cards that I've been pulling, that it's really about feeling in the moment, following the impulse of the soul, and congruency. So if you're like, I want to be healthy, but you're going to like eat fast food all the time, like your actions are speaking louder than your words. Are you completely aligned, thought, word, deed, which is vertical alignment? And are you congruent, body, mind, and soul? That is horizontal congruent. I think I got it backwards, but you get the idea. And then the final card, 4 of Swords. Let me move this over here. Ta-da. And I'm trying to remember 4 of Swords because I'm not used to these pictures. What is that one? Oh, yes. It's normally the gentleman laying down with one sword above. It's the willingness to receive. So you're putting all these things out. And just as you want to go put things out into the world without expectation of reciprocating, you also want to receive without the fear of being obligated to reciprocate back. So that's like a 2-way street. This is really being congruent, being in the moment, doing things just because it feels good for you to do it, receiving things because it feels good to receive them. If someone then says, hey, you did this thing for me, and now you have to do something back, in that moment you're like, well, I'm not obligated. And like, then you get an opportunity to stand in your power. It's not, that they're attaching an obligation after the fact, that does not impact your ability to receive it. Later on, you can still draw a boundary and be like, no, that doesn't obligate me. I am happy to be kind when it serves me to be kind, but not out of an obligation, because that is just creating like a tit-for-tat duality relationship thing. And we're really looking to move humanity into creationship, from kingdom of me to kingdom of we. So there is the 10 card reading. I kind of had to scrunch things together. It usually looks a lot more like spread out, circle and a line, but I hope this is helpful for you. And really going forward, I plan to do these additional clearing cards for patrons only. I'm still going to do a second recording. I'm going to go over the reading again, and I'm going to do a sound element that I will do a clearing for each one of these energies to help move and shift the energy. I will film that by Friday and post it for my private Patreon group. You can look at the link. It is like $3 a month. And if you want to do that, you'll get like the full 10 card readings, the sound healing, and there's a whole bunch of other content there that are exclusive for Patreon members, which is just a thank you from me to you for being a supporter and allowing me to continue doing this work, including me like reading from my journal, reading from the book that I published, all kinds of different things, private walking tours, Serpent Mountain. There's a lot of content there already. So check that out. There's a link in the video description. And until next time, thank you so much, and we will see you later. Except I hit the wrong button. How embarrassing when your video doesn't play. But that reminds me of pukle, sacred play. When you do make a quote unquote error, when you miss the mark in life, don't let it get you down. Just recognize that it's sacred play and that it's all okay. And we'll catch you next time.